So here we are, let's get straight into the next rite. Having landed at the Hulk of Ores, you and your fellow exiles now anticipate the hour that the rites are to commence again. What do you think, Tizo? Don't I look just like Mr. Hedwin? Hoo-hoo. Wait, I think that's that. What's that? A serpentine creature emerges from the water, followed by several others of its kind. You recognize it as Worm of the Sea Dominion. A vast and war-torn undersea regime, home to untold numbers of amphibious worms. What they all are doing here, you see, planned by the ritual Raymans. The nearest one somehow loosens its mask. Okay, we're facing them in the right. Good sirs and good ladies. Worm Knight. So it is you that he summons the glorious competition against this knight and his brigade. Well then, let's do battle now without delay. More than our freedom is at stake here, but our very honor. And this knight fully intends to reclaim his. Oh, and lest this knight forget, he is called Sir Gilman. He salutes you all on behalf of the Pyrehearts. He is a once proud knight of the Sea Dominion on a self-made quest to regain his honor. A triumvirate of worm knights who perceive the rites as great battles to be won, the Pyrehearts. Okay. He splashes out of view just as the stars above begin to shimmer with strange light. The glory attribute affects how much damage exiles can inflict to the adversary's pyre. Yeah, I do know that already.
Relentless, aren't we, reader?
Just wondering who I should take.
The vastness of the sea was not enough to thwart your coming here unto the Hulk of Ores. You would be wise not to underestimate your adversaries here, despite their pitiable look. I am, of course, referring to the Pyrehearts. These rites are but another war to them, and that makes you their mortal enemy. I expect your battle to be glorious.
Okay, your fellow exiles are gathered on the running deck of the Hulk of Ores. As your adversary is clamoring to view, Ruki pours up to them. Say, what are you worms even doing here? Can't you just swim back to the Commonwealth or the Sea Dominion or wherever it is you're from? Haha, an excellent point. It seems that then these adversaries in the rites are clever, wouldn't you say, sire? Just get rid of them already, Gilman. As your commanding officer, this knight hereby commands it. Hark, this knight wishes to introduce his noble commander. No worm knight in history has withstood as many frontline battles. Doff your helm, sire, as is our custom. May your adversaries tremble at the sight of you. Sir Gilman attends to his commander's mask, despite his protests. Well, what? Give this knight his mask. This knight hereby presents to you the great Sir Deluge. He is a petty worm knight of the Sea Dominion who somehow survived countless battles. Sir Deluge trembles and squirms. So yes, you can swim or no? Of course we knights can swim, all knights of the Sea Dominion can. But we are exiles in this land, the same as ye. We can swim, 'tis true, but 'tis summarily impossible to swim back up the river down which we were flushed to end up here. Nay, there is but one way to return. Silence, Gilman. Nobody cares, but back to your post. Sir Gilman hesitates, but does as he is told. This knight knows who you are, Nightwings, and he is not afraid of you. He somehow climbs back into his mask and calls up to his full height. Now, in guard! The exiles of the Worm Triumvirate take their positions as you focus on the Book of Rites. Okay, interesting battlefield we have here. Reader, Hedwin's illness means he cannot help us here. He shall be counting on us. Okay, no Hedwin.
We shall stand together here this night.
Hedwin's unwell. Dariel. Maybe we should bring Tay along, see if we can level her up a bit. Yeah, she does. Tizo I quite like. What's 2 damage?
Tizo.
Okay. Let's see how we do. Greha. Tizo doesn't seem intimidated in the slightest by Sir Gilman and Sir Deluge. Guildmates, status report, what is the enemy's position? They now stand ready to confront us, sire. A very brave triumvirate they seem to this night's eye. But brave, air-sucking monsters, one and all. Pyrehearts, be ready. Now, they look very small. I guess they're very, very quick.
Commence. That one almost got through. Your adversary's fire is the first to falter. Au revoir now, Sir Deluge.
Whoa. Alright, let's see if we can jump around here. Oh, no. Oh, got it, got it. Beautiful. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, they are very quick, aren't they?
The orb, take it.
What? I keep forgetting Tizo's. Whoa, whoa. I keep forgetting Tizo's fly. I'm pressing the wrong buttons here. It's a little bit frustrating. Okay, got lots to learn. Vanquish them. Okay.
There seems to be dissension in your adversary's ranks.
Flutter is not.
'Tis little wonder these fool worm knights are no longer fit to serve the Commonwealth.
What are they doing?
With grace.
Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Are they giving us a chance, were they?
Sinners.
Oh gosh. Whew. Okay. Let's bring Tizo back.
Oh, boo.
Should be able to fly over here. Go, Tizo. Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Now end the ceremony. Quite the turn of events.
Oh my goodness. Come on. Yes.
It is done.
Okay.
The Night Wings prevail. It was a glorious performance, I must say. The rite is complete.
Okay, so yeah, the controls at the bottom of the battle there, the battle screen, are actually different from my controller. So that was confusing me a little bit there, but I figured it out and managed to win that right. I expected more from the Worm Knights of the Sea Dominion. The sea was making me a little queasy, honestly, but we still won. We won. Tizo is very pleased to have prevailed against the Worm Knights of the Pyrehearts. This knight commends you, noble Nightwings. Gloriously fought indeed, and this knight shall wistfully remember this defeat until the end of his days. So silence, Gilman, that this is all your fault, and now cavorting with our enemies. How dare you? This knight was but attempting honorary compliments. Sire, is it not in accordance with the rights to praise one's adversary on a worthy outcome? Well, worthy? This knight will show you worthy, you miserable little minnow. You are a failure, Gilman. Get now from this knight's sight.
What stirs now in the hearts of all these exiles?
Focused training per hour is the path towards survival on the Blood Border. These rights make similar demands of us. The Blood Border, the northern edge of the Commonwealth, is a flat and vulnerable expanse. Choose a mastery for Jodie. We've chosen this path already, so she's got the double rush, which is good. When landing from a jump, Jodie briefly stuns adversaries. And For 7 seconds after saluting her adversaries, Jody deals an additional 10 to the adversary's Pyre. I actually haven't tried using the saluting. Let's do the crushing heal for sure. Tizo, not quite leveled up. Sometimes they get inspiration, I'm not sure what determines that.
Until the next rite.
After defeating the Pyrehearts almost effortlessly, you at last return to the wagon with the companions. There was little discussion of the Pyrehearts, who seemed to have already swam off toward wherever next the stars directed them. Instead, your fellow exiles' attention turns toward your companion who was absent for the rite. How is Hedwyn? The lone minstrel makes a sound, but no words form as yet. Something is troubling him. I urged him to remain bedridden, and he simply would not listen. I am very sorry, but... Wait, what? Everyone stares at the lone minstrel in stunned silence. The lone minstrel breathes a heavy sigh. But then... Hey, what's with the long faces, everyone? Minstrel, I should wring that neck of yours. As I was attempting to explain, Hedwyn is already out and about, despite my having strongly recommended further rest. Those that are unaccustomed to sea voyage and take ill, they are very likely to experience further symptoms if they do not remain bedridden or at least sedentary. Hedwyn is running a considerable risk of having to spend another night in great discomfort. What are you, a doctor? Nay, although I travelled once with one extensively. Look, I appreciate your caution and concern, Tarek, but I'm pretty well accustomed to discomfort here, and I had to see how things turned out tonight. I haven't had to stay out of a rite like that before. So you were back among the living then, Hedwyn. I was just seasick. Nevertheless, your full recovery requires rest. I think we all could use some rest after tonight. Anyway, thank you everyone for your concern, and I'm sorry that I worried you or caused you further burden. He turns to you. My friend, what do you say we figure out where to go next? I'm beginning to miss being on solid ground. You follow him outside where the night sky awaits. Alright, let's choose our destination. Hey, I wanted to thank you for conducting the rite back there without me being there. I could rest easy knowing you and the others would get through it. Anyway, I'll leave you to your reading. Can't begin to imagine where we'll be off to next. We're well past anywhere in the downside I've ever been. Even Jody hasn't gone this far. He bids you a good evening as you turn your attention back to the sky. Let's seek out our destination. Where are we going this time? We're at Ores. We're going up to Trieste, the Silver Star. Still further north then. Not simply north. This shall prove difficult. What's the problem? Our destination is beyond the deathless tempest. A vessel such as ours has little hope of traversing it intact. A tempest raging in the Sea of Solace seemingly for all eternity. Can't we go around it? Given our confrontation with the Pyrehearts, our chances back in worm-held waters would be even worse. Come on people, it'll be just another day in the downside. Go get yourself some sleep while we still can. Bet you'll feel better in the morning. Your optimism is infectious, isn't it? You all concur that rest is in order for the sea journey has been taxing to everyone. Come daybreak, you shall have to find a way to sail past the deathless tempest. So he wants to have a chat. Tay wants to have a chat. Oh, hi, miss. I'm so happy right now. I'm happy because I was so worried about Mr. Hedwyn for a while there, you know. He was so kind to me when we first met. Him and Miss Jody, and Mr. Greentowel, and you too. But I just really like him. She sighs. She seems happy to be here. Say, do you, She trails off for a moment. Do you think he likes me too? Yeah, I'm sure he does. You suggest to Tay that if she has certain feelings for Hedwyn, that she should let him know. It is a rare privilege to feel loved. She stares at you a moment, then she begins to laugh. Oh, you're so silly, miss. I didn't mean like him like that. That's so embarrassing. Besides, I think that maybe he's a little old, you know. I'm going to go cheer him up. This is a funny story. She bounds off, leaving you to ponder what just happened exactly. Okay, well, she got +1 hope, which is good. Nautical bell. Oh, you just keep on ringing that bell, sister. Keep at it. Rookie seems to be taking issue with your frivolous use of the nautical bell. After all, there is no sign of a nautical emergency, nor a prepared meal. Oh, I know it's not a meal time. It's fine. I'm starting to really enjoy the constant ringing sound, though now that it doesn't mean anything to me or anyone anymore. Besides, ringing that bell is probably some pretty good exercise, right? And it's good training for my ears too. You know we curs have ultra-sensitive hearing, don't you? Well, not anymore, I don't. Oh, okay. Anyway, thanks. I mean that. He storms off. Rookie shall never forgive you for abusing the nautical bell. Rookie reappears laughing heartily. He was only joking. Probably. Alright. Nothing new there. Alright. Let's carry on. Let's continue on our journey. We get to choose the Ragged Rock. Wreckage in the area could be valuables to find. Large sea creatures. Froth Sea. Oh, shall we go for the large sea creatures? I just want to see what's there. We probably would have been better off going to the wreckage, looking for materials. The Imteaser has been much more animated even than usual. What is it, little one? Scree! Teaser seems to think something very delicious is in these waters. He keeps on screeching. I don't think I've ever seen him like this. Wait, what is he? Just then Tizo dives into the waters and vanishes into the depths. Oh, I hope he can swim. He can, but he appears crestfallen when he finally returns, his claws empty. Tizo is very disappointed that whatever he attempted to catch eluded him. Tay begins to sob uncontrollably. The two revel in each other's misery for a time. Oh no. We should have gone the other way. You and your companions look upon the deathless tempest. The stars demand you sail beyond it, yet the very thought is beyond reason. Then something in the nearby water stirs, and from it springs something familiar. Hold, good ladies and good sirs, this knight beseeches you to hear him, if you please. What is it now, worm? The rites are ended, we have no further need of you. Oh, but you do, and in turn this knight has further need of you, good lady. Out with it then. Let us be joined, let this knight join you, please. Can you believe this, Hedwyn? Not really, no. Nay, look ye not so surprised. Your valour in the rites did stir this poor knight's soul. He swears to you upon his long lost honour as a would-be knight errant of the Sea Dominion, that he shall serve you to the end. What about your other worm friends back there, the Pyrehearts? He got kicked out, didn't he? They are base cowards. This knight can no longer abide such spineless characters. Having witnessed true glory in our clash upon the Hulk of Ores, never before have we been trounced so thoroughly. And furthermore, this knight shall aid your passage through the deathless tempest. Is it not so that you seek passage to the north? With this knight's aid you shall achieve your wish. Sir Gilman continues to persuade you for quite some time. He seems to know a way across the storm, some sort of long-held secret among worms exiled to these waters. Jodie pulls the rest of your side after Hedwyn gives her a look. Are you most sure that Sandalwood would want this thing along? Mostly sure. Sandalwood wants someone for each mask, and this one seems about as good as we're going to get. Jodie glowers back at the worm, who tries his best to look presentable. Hedwyn is more gracious. He tells Sir Gilman that if he promises to help you cross the deathless tempest, then he can come along for now. This knight is overjoyed, and he hereby swears to see you past the storm. Though first, this knight requires your consent. Give unto this knight your blessings in the name of the Nightwings, and thus shall he go forth. Let's give him a blessing. As he begins to say something in response, Sir Gilman cries out in triumph. He vanishes into the depths, yet through this close encounter with him you cling to some sense of where he is going and what he intends to do. Okay, let's help him see the mission through. He has an aura trail that extends behind him. Press B to snap to the end. B is the cast aura button. So does he not have a regular aura cast? Determined to prove himself to you on the Nightwing, Sir Gilman emerges somewhere in the outer reaches of the Sea of Solace and calls out to you. Master Reader, if you can hear this knight, then he implores you now. Lend him your guidance. This knight's objective ought to be not far east of here. Today we shall bring peace to the Emerald Sea. Know, however, that among this knight's brethren, the actions we are about to take are highly forbidden, but they are highly just. Thus Sir Gilman says forth to quell the storm that rages the north. Okay, come on, Sir Gilman. Oh, look at the way he moves, his little jumps. Okay. Yeah, so my controller has A at the bottom, which is was confusing me in the last rite. Okay. flash. Okay, so he travels back along his little circle. Okay, so he just goes straight to the end of the of his little trail there. Right trigger slither. Okay, so he's got a little dash there as well. Hark yonder lie the foul spawn of unfathomed plurns. The sea titan, once slain by the scrub under King Ores, her brood lies dormant in the sea, boiling the seas with their wrath. Exiled worms within these waters long have harboured these abominations, using them to bar passage through the downsized channels for any save this night's own kind. Be gone now from here, fiends. This night shall finish what the Under King Ores started. So I need to do this. So just go near it and destroy all these things. There we go. Have we cleared the path? I think we have. Uh-oh. Oh, hold it right there. You treacherous slug. How dare you turn your back on this knight to your superior. Superior by rank no longer, for we no longer serve the Commonwealth. Last this knight checked. Here, you hold no sway over this knight. Ah, and what have you done to the spawn? Have you no honour left at all? This knight has done that which required doing. His honour cannot sink much lower anyhow. He figured this would be an ideal time to free himself from servitude to you. Well, why you dared to staunch the tempest for those Nightwings? Good Sir Deluge. This knight was born to dare. Now come and fight this knight if you dare as well. Ah, Pyrehearts, banish him. That is an order. Uh-oh. Banish the Pyrehearts. Okay. Okay, not too hard. Oh, there's more of them. What now, Sir Deluge? Shall you not face this knight yourself and leave the dirty work unto your charges? For fine, Gimlin, you wish to stand against your commander, then have it your way. So march, Lady Seagrass, to me. Banish now this troublemaker. One down. 2, 3 down. You are master of this knight no longer, Sir Deluge. Let's shatter our fraternal bonds. This knight would say it was an honour serving you, Sir Deluge, but that would be a bold-faced lie, and yet another stain upon his blackened reputation. Until we meet again. Well, wait, you lowly traitor, that this night will have your head. Go, man! As the day wears on, there is still no sign of the Worm Knight. Your companions grow restless, but then... Hail! This knight returns with newfound tales to tell, and new scars to show for them. Sir Gilman is sopping wet and visibly shaken. He struggles to maintain decorum. He is, in short, the very image of a Worm Knight. And more importantly, that little tempest ought no longer pose a threat for you now. Behold. As if unto you the deathless tempest begins to simmer and subside. Good job, Sir Gilman. Good job. Seas are now calm. Would you look at that? He really did it. Of course this knight did it. I think Sir Gilman's going to be pretty good in the Rites, actually. He's fairly quick. He's got a nice sprint. And he can use the aura pretty effectively to take out enemies as well. Now, if it would be alright with you, this knight could really use some shut-eye. The Worm Knight then collapses in exhaustion. You and Hedwin help him up. A deal's a deal, Sir Gilman. Welcome to the Nightwings. Huzzah! Okay, Sir Gilman has joined the group. And now we're heading up to the Deathly Tempest. With Sir Gilman's aid, you managed to breach the Tempest. You were true to your word, Worm. I shall give you that. But now what? We are stranded in this cursed storm. A most excellent question, and from one most fair. Call me that once more and I shall tie you in a knot. Ah, and from one most spirited as well. This knight was wise to side with ye. Just, where do we turn from here? Answer the question now. Sir Gilman does no such thing, although eventually he does make note of a specific current that should lead you to the lands beyond. If I may, I can corroborate Sir Gilman's account. We are close to making landfall. Then let me be first to say, let's go. You're on the verge of sailing across the Sea of Solace. Say, Tarek. Hey, Rookie, what is it? That loot you're always carrying around, you know how to play that thing, don't you? Why, I suppose I do. Good, because I was thinking it's a little gloomy here and we could use a little tune to lighten up the mood. Know what I mean? Hey, then let me see what I can do. Okay, nice, we get a little tune as we make our way across the sea to the Black Basin.
Sorrowful tears and filled the waters high. The misty morning over the brine lies a leaden sky. The stars all hide away from the chill until the evening rise.
At last your wagon rumbles onto solid, jagged ground, the land called Black Basin. Your fellow exiles unpack the wagon so you can take stock of how best to reach your destination. Black Basin, black glass, searing vapor and strangling forests mark the forsaken lands that loom across the sea. Okay. Someone wants to chat. I'm kind of enjoying this song, actually.
Her final throes and shivers and shakes 1,000 years gone by.
Alright, Sir Gilman wants to chat. You approach Sir Gilman, he must have just finished practicing his fencing maneuvers. He regards you with his single eye. Hail, Master Reader, this knight is determined to train harder, having joined the famous Nightwings. He shall ensure that this triumvirate continues to live up to its most feared reputation. This is such an honour, and this knight has a great deal of honour to regain. Having fled the Pyrehearts, this knight fully expects now to conduct the rites in a most honourable fashion, to the fullest letter of the law described within the books. Some triumvirates this knight has met, and perchance mentioned by name. They are inclined to bend the rules a bit, sometimes a lot, and to prevail by any means they can. But this is wrong. The exile who refuses to obey the rules as they were written by the Under-King Ores and his 7 friends deserves neither his honour nor his freedom. Thusly does this knight have confidence. The Master Reader shall resist any temptations to conduct the rites in any underhanded fashion. Now then, this knight must undergo a thorough cleansing, having trained until the point of foulness, so please excuse him, Master Reader. He slithers off, humming some sort of chivalrous tune. We could maybe talk to the Beyonder Crystal, go to the common room, let's check out the worm. Quickness 25. That's quicker than Rookie. He's the quickest. Glory is still 15. Presence is tiny. But that's okay. Actually, can we give him... doesn't have much experience yet. Can he... It may extend the length of the aura behind him, maybe, by 8%. It's possible. We'll see. A visit from my favourite reader. What is the occasion? Okay, Sandra does not deem any of your fellow exiles worthy of her time right now. Okay, that's fine. Alright, let's survey the surroundings. You find that Hedwin has asked for several volunteers to scout the area and report back. Alright everyone, don't go too far and let's meet back by dusk. Please use caution, the exiles dwelling in these lands are, well, rather territorial. For your part, you remain with the black wagon to keep watch. You see occasional dark shapes soaring across the sky, but none of them draw near enough for you to see in any detail. Eventually, your companions make their way back, and everyone arrives as planned or earlier. Hi everyone, I'm back. I've come back. Tay returns from the east with little to report, save for word that the glowing molten rock there is very, very hot. This knight yet lives, although he has little else to report. The newest member of the group, Sir Gilman, returns from a northern pass, visibly shaken. He appears to have discovered an intense fear of heights. Pyrehearts. Tizo wonders whether any species of fish lives in the pools or rock nearby. The little imp Tizo seems disappointed to have left the water behind. He remains with you near the wagon. There is a western pass that seems traversable if we travel by the light of dawn. The shadows and the crags may well cover our advance against whomever may be watching. Begging your pardon, I do not wish to contradict your strategy, madame, though in my experience we shall not remain hidden for long during the climb toward the nest of Trieste. Okay, that's where the next rite is to take place. The exiles of the High Wing Remnants. You may have no love for them inherently, but they have no such qualms with me. From now I may be able to negotiate safe passage. Negotiate with them? Then Hedwyn steps in as the lone minstrel bows and backs away. Hey, let's not decide on this just yet. We're not going anywhere right now. That much we can agree on. We'll decide how to best go ahead come morning. For now, let's take the rest of the afternoon to get our bearings. Jody glares at the sky as everyone else disperses. You have the rest of the day. Global bonuses, forage for resources. Mentor a companion. I'm going to try foraging. We'll see what we can find here. Let's go to trace of celestial residue. Okay, value 70. Right. Okay, the Black Shore. Jody wishes to avoid the harps by staying on low ground. The lone minstrel believes he can negotiate safe passage with the harps via this. I'm inclined to try to stay to low ground. Let's go with Jody's idea. The shattered lands of Blackshore prove difficult to traverse for the Black Wagon. Jody searches for a solid path forward to little avail. Fire on these blasted lands. How are we to proceed through this? Perhaps I may be of some assistance. This place is not so unfamiliar to me, nor are its hidden denizens. Please remain with the others until I return, madame. I shall not be long. The minstrel disappears into the cliffs before Jody can protest. In the meantime, you and she continue to keep watch, sensing unseen eyes. The last time that one disappeared on us, we searched for him for days. This time, he soon returns. I have secured safe passage through the nest of Trieste, and you may proceed. Secured safe passage? With whom exactly? Just then, a winged woman dives down from the sky. She looks Jody up and down, and then she soars away without a word. The lone minstrel says nothing more either. Jody's scowl deepens. For centuries, the Commonwealth withstood the high wing remnants' treacherous assaults, thanks to soldiers such as she. Jody lost 4 hope. I think I'm leaving her out of the next rite. At last you arrive at the nest of Trieste, where the next rite is soon to commence. You cannot shake the feeling that unseeing eyes watch your wagon's ascent and remain watching now. Right. Page revealed, the Hunt of Myr. Let's check that out. Okay. The Hunt for Myr. My emperor lay there, bleeding and alone, stranded in a bitter land beyond the river. With fleeting consciousness, he understood the folly of his quest and the folly of his rule over his country. Thus did he await the last embrace. It was the imp, Haob, that nursed him back to health and warned him often of the dangers he would have to face. Many enemies of Myr would come in search for him, some under employment by the rope caller, some longing openly for cold, uncomplicated vengeance. I was one of them. I plunged into the river willingly. We needed to be sure that he was dead. Okay. What's this? Sir Gilman's Crest. Now, I'm going to check out the shop as well. Oh, hey you guys, what brings you way out here? No, wait, don't tell me. I don't want to know. All I want is to get the best deals in the downside. Oh, we got some extra stuff. I generally pick up all the stardust if I can grab it. Sunken Shadow. Any adversaries banished by the bearers take longer to return. Nice. After dousing the adversary's pyre, the bearer's pyre is restored by up to 5. That's nice too. +2 presence. +2 hope. 10% speed. I'm not really too concerned about the ash and coal. Anyway, let's sell the fire caps. I've only got 100. I could save up for the lunar glass. 10% speed. Righteous Flame is pretty good as well. Sunken Shadow. Sunken Shadow is 180. Okay, I'm just going to leave it for now. Let's just grab this one. Oops. I'll just buy one for now. And that will be fine. I appreciate you doing business, and you guys be sure to tell your friends, okay? And next time we're going to head straight into the Rite.